Okay, good evening, everyone. Finally, after 2 years, thanks to all of you for joining us in person to this event, all of you that are here in this room, and to all of you that are online, also a warm welcome. We are very happy to welcome you at this award, at this APAC Retail Startup Award. My name is Pierre Varentergem. I'm the managing director at RBA Asia. We are an accounting and corporate service firm, and I will be your MC tonight. So I will start with a presentation of the award, of the event. But first, I would like to thank our sponsor, and particularly I would like to give a big thanks to My Business Asia. My Business Asia is an entrepreneur-focused digital platform for corporate services. It's a corporate service firm. To WorldPay for their amazing payment system, and to Xero for their awesome and beautiful accounting software. Thanks a lot to them. What is Upstart? What are the Upstart Awards? I'm not really qualified to let you know. The best will be to hear from Jerome, which is the group communication director of the Bluebell Group, one of the co-founders of the Upstart event. She's here.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Startup&Angels and Upstart's live pitch event. I'm sorry I couldn't be with you today in Singapore live, but I'm really excited to be joining online. My name is Anne. I'm a director of Retail in Asia, and I just want to say a few words about Upstarts. Retail in Asia launched Upstarts this year to really recognize this new generation of homegrown retail players in the region. Our mission at Upstarts is to recognize, amplify, and reward these Asian startup brands, retail concepts, retail tech solutions, their founders, and their people, as well as their expert partners who help them bring their vision to reality. The Upstarts Awards are empowered by Retail in Asia, the one-stop source for retail intelligence and news in Asia. So ultimately, Upstarts is really about embracing the new retail players and disruptors who are shaking up the whole industry. And what they're bringing to the table is key to the success of the future of retail in the region and for future generations. With Asian entrepreneurship at an all-time high, it's time to recognize their achievements, bring them into the existing retail network, and reward them. But more than just reward, through Upstarts, we want to build a community around the concept that established and new players come together to exchange and learn from each other. So why are we here tonight? We want to celebrate entrepreneurship. We want to build a community and kickstart the Upstarts event lineup. We also want to reward some of these outstanding startups and offer them visibility across retail in Asia so they get well known throughout the whole retail ecosystem and network. And we want to ensure that the most promising retail startups and Startup&Angels members don't miss their chance to enter the awards. So I'd like to kick off by thanking all of our Upstarts sponsors, Alipay Plus, IWD, Invest Hong Kong, and the Bluebell Group, as well as all of our Upstarts partners who have worked with us very closely to make this a reality. And best of luck, of course, to the 5 startups pitching this evening. We're very excited to see what you are bringing to the table and what new retail innovations you're bringing to the entire retail ecosystem. And don't forget to enter the Upstarts Awards. You've got to be in it to win it. Good luck.
Sorry for the lag, but it's quite scary because I actually have a second video, so I hope this one won't lag. The video will be introduce you further in details what are the Upstart event and its categories. There we go. And to finalize the introduction, I would like to add that this event is also brought to you by Startup&Angels, which is a global community which thrives on connecting founders and entrepreneurs with investment opportunities, growth, and partners. This is usually done through events, workshops, an online community, podcast, and its weekly newsletter or social media. At Startup&Angels, we run a series of events, physical or online panel, which had gathered more than 10,000 attendees across 10 countries in Asia Pacific and Africa. And we are extending by going global also with new locations such as the Middle East or Europe, and more to come. To finish on the presentation, Startup&Angels is also part of the Australians group, which is a consulting group that aims to create value to the world of startup through lines of business. It includes market access, strategic consulting, and also a strong expertise in talent acquisition. That's the agenda for today. So I did the introduction. I'm gonna now introduce the speaker and the prize also. But first, I would like you to be slightly impolite with me and try to get on your mobile phone and scan this QR code. They are here as well. You can scan them throughout the event, and you're going to be able to ask questions to anyone actually, but through me. So it's going to reach my phone, and I'm going to be able to ask questions to the contestor. So after each pitch, you can ask the question directly to the phone if you don't want to take a microphone, or there will be a microphone that's going to go around. But you can also ask them through me if you want to. So they are here as well, because I'm going to switch slide now. The price, what are they? So for the winner is going to be a direct free access, a direct free award enrollment to the final of the Upstart Award, a complimentary company profiles, access to Upstart community events, and an exclusive interview to be published on Upstart Voice. Free access to the Startup&Angels events, exposure on the Startup&Angels community, and an exclusive podcast episode with Startup&Angels. For the runner-up, it's going to be also a direct free award enrollment, a complimentary company profile on retail in Asia, access to Upstart's community event, and a free access to Startup&Angels events. It's the same thing. We will also have some price for the 3 other participants. I'm going to introduce our judge. So tonight we have Sylvain from OVH Cloud. We have Jay from DFS Group. We have Rosalind from Hammer Treasury. Gail, who is online from EWD Retail Software. My friend Derek from Zero. And Lutfilo from WordPay as well. The speaker, so they are here. I'm not going to introduce them because it's part of their job and it's going to be part of their 5-minute pitch. So let's dive to it directly and let the first pitch begin. It's going to be you, Adele. Good luck.
Hi, everyone. I'm Adele Leong. I'm the Managing Director for OnTheList here, based in Singapore for Southeast Asia and Australia. Just to qualify, I'm not the co-founder. They're Diego and Delphine. I'll share a little bit more about them. They're now in France, so I will do my level best to fill in the very big shoes to sell this to you. Moving on to the next slide. So I represent OnTheList. So who are we? You'll see there, unlock the list, private sales just for members. So we are members only flash sale business. We not only promise to provide you the best deal in town, we also have a sustainable approach to how we do business for our brand partners. So firstly, our vision. We feel and we know that every single item made with love has to be and will be proudly loved. Our mission is to turn inventory into opportunities. Our values, you will see there, family spirit, because that's really how we started off, and we want to be able to continue it as we grow. For every single one of our team members, entrepreneurial spirit that's driven by curiosity, panache that is driven by passion, and sustainability that is driven by positive impact. So these are the two co-founders, Delphine and Diego. So both of them started their careers in retail in Europe, made their way to Hong Kong, and realized working through retail brands that there was so much inventory that ended up in landfills, and they wanted to find a solution for that. So a little bit about our journey. So we started in 2016 in Hong Kong, and that's where the journey started. We now have over 150 employees, all experts in their field. So you're talking about retail operations, marketing, and also IT. We have both we have both online and offline presence. So we're omni-channel, and really that's our expertise. So now, based on our presence in Asia Pacific, we have our showrooms in Hong Kong, Shanghai, Singapore, and in the other markets, we're present online at the moment. In total, we've worked with 700 brand partners, and our members-only database, which is really an asset for ours, is almost 750,000. Okay. Okay.
Sorry about that.
No worries. Should I try? Ah, okay. So to give you a little bit of idea where we're present at. So the idea for us when we have our showroom presence is really not to compete with our retail partners directly. So for example, in Singapore, we will not be present in Orchard Road because that's where business is done for our brand partners. So we're located in Raffles Place, where you know that you have a good captive audience, yet they don't have the opportunity to shop necessarily, and we're present there for them. So likewise in Hong Kong and Shanghai as well. So our newer markets like Australia, Malaysia, and Korea, that's where we actually started, and opportunities arose during COVID. For us, currently, we're just online at the moment. So just a little snippet of pictures for you to have an idea of how our showroom is. The idea for us in terms of our showroom is to really be versatile. So everything is modular. We work with all product categories from fashion to beauty to lifestyle. So it gives us the mobility and the flexibility to be able to maneuver and move our showroom however the brand partner requires us to showcase their products. Okay, so we have two phases to our business. The first one would be with our database, as mentioned, where we have public sales, both in our showrooms on the top and also flash sales at the bottom on our websites. The second side of our business that the public doesn't necessarily see would be our private event management system for what we would call our private or staff, family, and friends sale, whereby we can do it also both online and offline. This differs from the public sales because for brands, for example, especially luxury brands, they sometimes will want to keep such sales lower profile. And for us, we are able to control the invitations, how the sale is seen, and that gives us the advantage as well. So some of our brand partners are for private sales. So you'll see very well-known brands from the LVMH group and also the Kering group. Our public sales, you will see obviously more brands whereby we work from luxury fashion into more your contemporary fashion and other categories like beauty and lifestyle, as mentioned earlier. So I'll break down our database in Asia. So predominantly in Hong Kong, as you can imagine, because we started there first in 2016. Very quickly in China and Singapore, our members base are fast growing as well. Australia and Malaysia, very interesting enough. With less than a year of operations, we've managed to grow our base really strongly and just with our online presence. And for us, this is really something that COVID has more or less trained consumers to shop more online, and we're benefiting from that. Profile-wise, mostly female, but the male shoppers are also growing in terms of numbers and strength. And for us as well, you will see a large percentage of our customers being the younger customers below 40. And that's really all thanks to our development and growth in the online presence as well. And we're very happy to share that our Hong Kong HQ has been B Corp certified. So we're one of 4,862 companies globally to be certified B Corp. Some of you may be familiar with the term, some may not, so I'll spend a little bit of time to explain that to you. So the B Corp certification is something really quite coveted and hard to achieve. And you need to meet high standards of verified performance, accountability, and transparency on factors that would range from employee benefits to charitable giving, all the way to our processes and input materials. We make a legal commitment by really changing our corporate governance structure to be more accountable to all stakeholders, not just shareholders, which is an important part. We need to exhibit transparency to allow information to be publicly seen when people want to find out more about us. And we signed the B Corp Declaration of Independence. So some really more global brands that you would see that are B Corp certified would be Ben & Jerry's, Patagonia, which is an outdoor sports brand out of America, and also Aesop, that's a beauty brand out of Australia. So on top of the business side of things, we focus a lot on sustainability and CSR as well. So for example, this year for Earth Day, we did the initiative to plant trees just to really show what we can do and we want to do in terms of our commitment for sustainability. We also work a lot with charity organizations. So you can see there where we've donated to Impact Hong Kong and also the beach cleaning just to do our part. So these activities engage both our employees as well as our members as well. So in Singapore, what we try to do would be also in our little way trying to promote sustainability. So instead of, for example, during Christmas, buying wrapping paper, we encourage people to come pick up used paper from us just to create that awareness for recycling and repurposing. We have done swap parties for our members, whereby maybe you have apparel that you've not worn in a while and you were thinking of throwing away. We allow you to bring it in. We form a party and people come in to swap. So that extends the life of an item as well. We also do, when it was COVID, webinars, whereby we talk about the sustainability future of retail, for example. And in Australia, one initiative that we've done is to partner with Trace, whereby we measure, reduce, and offset our carbon emissions. And also we've worked with here, Longchamp and Le Creuset actually worked with us to partner for a good cause to buy meals with our partners. So a little bit of examples of press that we've garnered so far. So you'll see Delphine and Diego doing lots of the interviews and really showcasing how we can work with brands to turn inventory into opportunity while being sustainable. So I encourage you to scan, maybe later on, I'll leave these because you have your QR code for a Q&A to find out more about the different subsidiaries that we have, at least in my region, Singapore, Malaysia, and Australia. So that's me. That's my email contact. So please feel free to reach out if you have any questions or opportunities for partnership in any way. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Adele. Is there any question from the in-person attendance or from the judge? If not, I can start with, we have actually a lot of questions online. So I can start with one of the online question. Actually, that's true that we see a lot of OnTheList bag everywhere in the CBD when we go for a lunch break. So that's quite successful, but that brings to this question from the online attendance. They say with your longevity, large scale and geographic spread, why do you consider OnTheList to be still a startup?
Well, I think for us, we are startup in the different countries whereby we just establish ourselves. We're not a startup. Like I think I was speaking to some of the other participants. We're not really like them, but we're really still in the midst of developing and evolving in terms of our business model. I think that's important. So in a way, we have that startup mindset in us, and we're also still growing.
Yes, of course. Silva. I think it's on.
It's on? Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry. Hi, thank you very much. Just one question, moving forward, your strategy, how do you foresee the balance between the offline and online growth within your business? Because we can see that there is a lot of traction, especially with the younger age group, right? But how do you, how important it is the offline in the business mix?
I think fundamentally for us, offline will still be very important. And it's also in a way, a point of differentiation for us, keeping in mind that we work a lot with past season inventory. The fact that sometimes products may not be freshly made out from the factories, and we do have aged stocks. By having an offline presence, we give customers an opportunity to look and feel and try the items before they actually purchase. So it remains for us an important part of the strategy. In our newer markets, we do pop-ups on occasions when brands do ask for it. And eventually when we see that the timing is right, to have a permanent showroom will also be part of the plan.
Yeah, of course, Jay.
Thank you, Adele. Can you tell us a little bit more about your brand universe? You showed that one of your slides, you have some very high-end brands, the LVMH, the Kering Group. And then I know from experience, you also have brands that are definitely more accessible. How do you fit them together? Is there a cannibalization of reputation that goes along with that? And what's your plan for the future? Do you actively curate those brands?
I think for us, first and foremost, when we work with a luxury brand versus a more accessible brand, they will never be mixed together. We are always very mindful about how the brand wants to be perceived and to be seen. So it will, in this case, will always be separated. So for us, as on the list, we have established ourselves, as I mentioned earlier, the more public side of things, whereby for us, it's really much more to curate interesting categories, interesting brands for our members to be able to shop flash sale, because we do it almost weekly. So that will continue. On occasions, if we have an interesting enough luxury brand that would be keen to reach out to our members, we can do it a little bit on a closed manner, whereby it's only invitations to specific people. If it's online, you need special logins in order to access. So we're always keeping in mind what the brand wants in terms of how to be perceived and keeping that always at the top of how we operate.
Yeah, you can start first and then Derek.
Sorry, Derek. Test. Yeah, so
maybe you can ask the two questions and you reply to the two, because we only have 2 minutes left. I'm super strict with the time.
Okay.
Mine is quick. So Adele, where do you see the risk, and how do you overcome that challenge, that risk?
And Derek, yeah.
Can you share a little bit about your strategy on acquiring members, especially in the newer markets?
Okay, so to answer the first question first, the risk. I think for us, as we find, especially when online is becoming more and more an important channel, and I think with COVID, everybody, like it or not, has just been tuned to shop online in one way or the other. The online competitors, I will not name them, but they are really quite present, well-backed and aggressive. But for us, we always have to remember that first and foremost, we only work with brand principals and the official distributors. So there will never be a question about the authenticity of our products. So that will always be our strength. And for us, that's something that we also promote a lot, so that people know that and they feel secure when they shop with us. So that, I think, answers that question, hopefully. The second question would be really much more related to the fact that we are, sorry, your question was?
Maybe you can share a little bit about your strategies on
to grow our
acquiring your
database,
membership
right?
base.
For us, we have seen that as we expand, the most effective way of getting new members would be referrals from members who know about us. That has always been the most effective. And for example, what we have done would be before we launch officially in a new market with the first sale, we would reach out to our members globally, and that's in excess of 750,000, to tell them, look, we're opening in this market, refer a friend, and you would be able to get a voucher once your friend purchases something. And because everybody is so connected and internationally, that has really allowed us to be really gaining members right from the beginning. And after that, of course, doing our social media, our communications and PR, that helps us grow in terms of our members base as well.
Thank you very much, Adele. That's perfect. Can I have the clicker? Oh, you can pass it on to. We're just going to have, so the next contester is Nathalie. Nathalie, she's online. So you can keep the mic here for now. She's online. She's going to appear over there. And her slide is going to be here. And you can ask her question also, even though she's online at the end of the presentation. So Nathalie is from Splashup, and I will let her introduce her strategy.
Hi, I'm Nathalie, working with my CTO Pavel, and we're Splashup, a product engagement tool for retailers with a vision to create the world's best shopping experiences. Providing a great customer experience has recently become the #1 most important driver of e-commerce success. But e-commerce journeys today are almost universally flawed, featuring aspects that shoppers tell us make for a poor experience. E-commerce doesn't truly personalize. Personalization treats shoppers as this homogeneous segmented group, focusing on product recommendations and frequent unsolicited messages that only push shoppers away. E-commerce doesn't give shoppers more control over their browsing experience to calibrate it according to their individual preferences and needs. Think of the last time you clicked on a product only once to then see it in front of you everywhere for the next week. E-commerce was built on a disjointed and linear navigation. The cart is not always the end state. It could be the beginning or the middle, and tools are passive, hidden behind sign-up walls and low functionality. This creates fragmented journeys across sessions, forcing users to start over, hack solutions, or just move on. Retailers consistently underinvest in this messy mid-funnel that's being overlooked, that hurts their customer experience, makes them lose precious sales in a competitive market, and often forces them to spend large sums on ads to compensate for low conversion and funnel drop-offs. So we built Splashup to solve these problems and power the next era of great online shopping experiences. We're a product engagement tool for online retailers, helping shoppers interact with items of interest through rich shopper controls and express these preferences in the journey for increased conversions, retention, and a better customer experience. With navigation, shoppers can view and compare products they like, easily save, share, and resume shopping experiences with one click, giving them the flexibility. We use highly customer-driven communication where they choose how they want to engage with their items. Remind them in a week? Sure. Notifying them when we've got more pearly gold earrings? You got it. We're putting customers back in the driving seat. We save their preferences and queries, saving them the time and effort and making them feel heard. And by solving customer pain points, we are helping retailers thrive. We increase their conversion rates, retention rates, and give them strong insight around inventory and shopper needs. We tested our product with hundreds of shoppers, observing every click and nuance in their shopping journey, and users want to flexibly carve out their own paths. Retailers have been showing interest in Splashup's experience. We have interest from a number of Australia's largest and most exciting brands ahead of our public launch later this month. Some wish to remain anonymous, but we're talking to retailers across apparel and jewelry, which together combine over 2 million unique visitors each month. And unlike our competitors, we capture data about explicit shopper input in the journey on how they want to craft their shopping journey and build with the retailer without just relying on pure guessing. We believe this is the best way to delight and earn trust at scale. Most e-commerce tools today try and take as much thinking and choice out of customers as possible, so think super predictive algorithms. And we now need more than ever to create simpler, wider discovery experiences, especially now with increased customer expectations around customer experience since COVID, sales becoming more expensive driven by advertising duopoly, and the upcoming third-party cookie apocalypse that would only prompt urgent innovation in this space. We're in a large and growing market sitting at $50 billion, and we execute our revenue model on tiered pricing based on retailer monthly traffic with potential for clip-on conversions. Our early momentum comes down to the awesome team we've assembled. I've spent the last 6 years in various high-growth startups, including leading the growth for a product portfolio expansion at a homegrown startup that IPO'd last year. I'm also a startup mentor at University of New South Wales Accelerator. My previous experience owning a retail brand was the key inspiration in founding Splashup. Our CTO Pavel Shipolenko was the head of innovation at Intervale with 10 years working in product management, software engineering, and first-hand experience launching products in fintech and messaging used by millions. Our team is expanding in engineering and design, and we have phenomenal advisors. Saga, who's the ex-Global Analytics Director at the Global Fashion Group, and Ben Ling, who's helping us in sales. We have a fantastic set of angel investors, led by X15 Ventures Commonwealth Bank Venture Investment Fund, who awarded us the National Startup Winners Reimagining Retail and who remain an active partner with us today. So, where's our journey taking us next? We want to roll out a self-serve model to expand our reach and support customers of all sizes, starting in the UK and the US. We're really excited about the journey ahead. We'd love to be connected to retailers, brands, or retail experts and recruiters. We believe that online shopping should be blissful, online shopping should be engaging, and that everyone should discover products the way they dream about using them. It's time to begin a new era of e-commerce. Thank you.
Thank you, Nathalie. So Nathalie is online over there. So who would like to ask the first question? Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, Nathalie, thanks for the presentation. First question, who do you compete with and how do you differentiate yourself?
Thank you. So this is a great question. I guess when it comes to direct competition, one of the things that we look at in terms of the market is players that have existing competed in this existing market in different forms, such as, for example, like wish listing tools or product finders or guided experiences. And products that are in this space roughly are players like Swim, players like Chrystie, players like Octane AI. We also have larger players who are also solving this problem from an algorithmic standpoint. So think of Bloomreach, of UAI. There's so many different players that are tackling this whole customer experience from a different angle, but we believe that by prioritizing the customer first, by giving them more functionality and flexibility, we are differentiating by really bringing in the most direct and honest, which is a human insight, and to recalibrate that experience in a much more direct but subtle way. And so from that standpoint, we would like to, we basically differentiate by making sure that we are factoring in the customer experience or the customer decisions in the process.
Yeah, thank you.
Please go ahead.
Question, just I would like to know if you have some specific technology that you are completely the owner of specific technology. Are you leveraging third-party technology and then you bundle this technology to favor the customer experience, or do you develop also your own technology that you would have some intellectual property at some point?
Absolutely. I mean, developing our own IP will definitely be core at this at some point in the future, but we want to, at the moment, tackle the problem at its core. And with that, it really goes back to, go back to basics. The problem exists very much strongly so in the mid-funnel. And initially, we want to start off by solving and addressing this core problem for customers and retailers. As we grow, the insight that we'll be collecting, as well as the shopper experience, will be improved over time, which will then definitely will consider leveraging our own IP to expand on that and to create even more personalized experiences within specific retail stores and also potentially outside of that as well. And so Pavel can also jump in if he wants to add in anything to this point.
Yeah, I think Gael has a question, right?
Yes, thank you, Pierre.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nathalie, for the pitch. I have a question. Do you only target brands and retailers, or you plan to target longer term, like e-commerce platform as well?
So by e-commerce platforms, are you talking here about the likes of Shopify, or are you talking about the likes of CDPs and like CRPs?
Like Amazon and so on, but Amazon is maybe a bit big, but these type of platforms, I guess.
Yeah, so marketplaces are definitely on the horizon. We are, in fact, already talking to different marketplaces across different industries. But primarily, what we want to do is we want to work with different retailers and brands to start off with. Marketplaces have their own capabilities and functionalities. And so for us, what we want to do is want to empower the brand by itself, as well as mid to large retailers before we really go larger in terms of like depth and in terms of like offering to start off with. But definitely it's on the horizon, but we want to make sure that we are working with retailers, brands across these industries to start off with.
All right, thank you very much.
Hey, Nathalie. Thanks for the presentation. Just a quick question around your target, I suppose. We all know that one of the challenges to answering all of your consumers' requests online or offline is replenishment. Do you have a different strategy for a mono-brand retailer versus a multi-brand retailer? Do you have, are you targeting one over the other, or do you have a preference?
So initially speaking, what we want to do, this is a great question, thank you. We want to make sure that we are providing insight for this specific store around what sort of stock, what sort of the traffic that they're attracting, what their audience is specifically requesting to potentially restock and basically provide more items in the future of a similar or like the same one. Whether this is data that will be shared with the retailer that the marketplace has, as an example, will be subject to obviously the customer that we work with. That being said, one of the interesting insights that we have received from some of the brands that we were talking to was that the marketplaces that they already engage with, as an example, don't really give them the insight across stock or that level of interactivity when it comes to whether they're interested in a particular item. So going down this route will be interesting to us because we found that there's lots of insight missing for different brands in that space. So it's something that we could consider, but at the moment we'll be just working with our retailers, with our customers, sorry, in giving them this insight on replenishment. Yeah.
Hi, my question would be that is your data collection, the privacy policies and everything, the changes with that. So how does your data collection system compare your product to, let's say, Facebook, which people are, going there, as you said, click one product, see the advertisement, but then how does it differentiate? Thank you.
So the beautiful thing about what we're doing is that we are leveraging first party, or you can say zero party data, which essentially is data that the customer has explicitly decided to give. So it's data that is really accurate because it's really data that states what this person is after. At the same time, it's compliant because it's not based on third-party tracking data. It's not based on data that is not really. It's data that the customer has, the shopper has consented to give. So from that aspect, if anything, we are very compliant from that standpoint. And if Pavel, you want to add anything to this point, then definitely please feel free to do so.
Thanks a lot, Nathalie, and good luck. Our next speaker will be, next contestant will be Chrystie Dao from Hoobuyz.
What a very booming voice. Can I stand there? I don't like standing in one spot. I move. I'm a mover.
Okay, go ahead.
And I need a drink. Oop. It doesn't stop. Okay. Do you remember when was the last time you had a great in-store shopping experience because the retailer remembered your favorite coffee, your size, and your favorite color? Good evening, judges. Good evening, guests in Singapore and those online. My name is Chrystie Dao, and I'm the founder and CEO of Hoobuyz, a data-rich shopper insights tool for brick and mortar retailers. Even with the rise of online shopping, consumers still prefer the in-store experience and have spent approximately $1 trillion in Southeast Asia. This is despite 64% of retailers failing to provide a great in-store customer experience due to a lack of knowledge of their customers. Look at Walmart, look at Amazon, who have changed the way you and I shop today. Their underlying success has been the ability to understand the customers well and be able to provide a personalized shopping experience around convenience, product selection, and customization. This is key. And just imagine
how, like, for example, retailers today, and how Amazon has changed the way you and I shop. So what we have done is with Hoobuyz, we bring game-changing technology to the retailer space by providing rich consumer insights and the benefits of tracking and personalization that you find in e-commerce to the in-store environment. Imagine the smile on the customer's face when the server at the quick service restaurant remembers their name, their favorite order, and tells them that the order is on the house without even the use of a loyalty program. This is priceless. And this is the power of Hoobuyz. Hoobuyz provides actual and authentic data in store of customers to the retailers that retailers can trust. There is no more guessing with Hoobuyz because we know who, we know what, we know when, we know how, and how often your customers buy. And this is what we have been powering for a Mexican food chain here in Singapore with over 20 outlets. And how do we do this? We are able to provide them with key insights such as who is the most loyal customer in the city store, a male between the ages of 31 to 35. He's a combo kind of customer. His average ticket size is $26, and he's been to the store 156 times over the course of the year. This is what we can do for you. So where can your business be tomorrow if you had the power of Hoobuyz in your fingers today? The customer insights are delivered via our proprietary intelligence dashboard. We can also integrate the data back into the customer's ERP system, loyalty programs, or even SaaS platforms. I'm incredibly proud of the Hoobuyz team. Together, we have amassed over 300 years of experience and have a proven track record in building technology startups and have generated over $100 million across 4 continents today. The Hoobuyz team is on a mission to reimagine, to revolutionize, and to recreate a rewarding and enjoyable in-store shopping experience. Will you be joining us on this mission? So we're calling dreamers, change catalysts, angel investors, marketers to come and join us on this mission to change the face of retail. Thank you for listening, and thank you for voting for Hoobuyz. Have a great evening, everyone, and let's stay connected. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Chrystie. The mic, but I'm gonna need the clicker.
Put my details here.
I'm gonna need the clicker. Thanks. Do you guys have any question?
I do have one. Can I intervene? Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Chrystie, for the presentation. It looks very interesting, but my question is how you capture the data and what type of data do you capture to get this insight on the people that goes into the stores?
Yep. Thanks, Gail, for the question. What we do is our technology is computer vision. So we will have a camera and also a computer that we will install at the customer's site. And the images that we capture are all anonymized. We know nothing about the customer, their name, their address, or their ID. All we know is that a male or female, and using our AI technology, we can predict the age and also sentiments without the use of a mask. And then from then on, without machine learning models, we can predict a number of buying behaviors of the customer, not just the one location, but the many locations that they visit belonging to one brand. Does that answer your question, girl?
In part, yes. But for instance, if I take the example of the Big Mac, the guy that eat Big Macs, how do you get that data from transactions or consumption?
Yes, so we would also work with the POS. So we would need the transaction data to then integrate the both to be able to build that customer journey.
Okay.
So
your
that's
main
why we know
solution
who,
is...
when, and how.
Okay. So your main solution is image recognition, and then you can plug with different type of data from the retailers and brands. Okay.
Correct. Yes. So we know the SKUs, and then we attach the SKUs with the customer in store and the movement in the store.
Okay. And sorry, since I have the mic, there are big players in the scene, especially from China. How do you compete against them? What's your competitive advantage?
Yeah, so the way we look at the market is that we're focusing on Southeast Asia market, right? We don't intend to play in China. It's a very complex market that for us at the moment, we've got other opportunities here in Southeast Asia. Yes, there are bigger players, but we're a very niche player in the sense that we're currently focusing on the fast food vertical, whereby we provide very deep customer insights to allow, for example, a coffee chain to know who the customer is buying online, but they don't know how they're buying offline. So we provide the massive missing piece for these retailers so that they can personalize the customer journey. For example, the customer come in store and they will know, okay, this person is a cappuccino drinker and they always have a chocolate muffin with that. So the retailer can then start, offering coupons, promotions to engage the customer and to build loyalty, in the long term.
All right. Thank you very much, Chrystie, for answering.
You're welcome.
Yeah, maybe just one quick question about, do you foresee any risk with regards to the, this consent that at some point you need to capture from the people you're getting the data from?
For us, private data privacy is a big concern. We always work on the right side of the law. Hence, we have Baker McKinsey as our lawyers, as our legal advisors. So the way we look at the business is that because we're capturing anonymized data, we give retailers much more generic profile information. But as soon as the consumer opts in and agree to provide their data, for example, a phone number or their name, then they've already given the consent to us and the retailer so that we can start building a much more insightful profile of the customer.
We have a question from the attendants. Yeah, just press here. That's okay. Yeah, no, that's okay.
Hey, this is really impressive, especially your revenue figures and how fast you've grown already. My question as a marketer was, one of the biggest challenges with our fast food clients is how do we attribute online to offline, right? So I believe that this anonymization is a big aspect of your product. So have you thought about how we could potentially complete the user journey and see as a marketer how our ads online actually translate to in-store behavior?
Yeah, so very good question. So thank you for that. So we're working with a regional coffee. We're in talks with a major retail, a coffee chain across Asia Pacific. So they basically have customers who order on the app, and they also use delivery food companies to deliver the coffees or food and whatever else, right? But what they're missing, a massive percentage, is the offline in-store data. Right. And so what we're working with them right now is to then supplement the online with the offline data so that they have the 360-degree view of the customer. And from then on, they can actually understand the customer's behavior online versus offline and be able to then navigate across the two channels, if you will. Yeah, so this is when the customer will opt in, right? So we would, that's the next step, is that we would work with the retailer, right? Working with their app, with their technology to be able to link the two bits together. So yes, that is definitely something that we're working with this regional client on.
Chrystie, I love how you're making the customer experience that much richer in store. You talked about, knowing that customer always has this type of coffee and that type of muffin, etc. But again, I'm a little unclear. If you're anonymizing your data, how are you then making it so personal? There's a big gap between anonymous versus personal.
Thanks, Jay. So this is the first step, is to provide much more anonymized data. So more demographic data points for the retailer. For example, male, female, the buying patterns, what they buy each time. But we don't actually know their name or who they are until the consumer opts in. And this is where we work with the retailer and saying, hey, we can build that link, right? And we need to work with the retailer to build that link. So when the customer comes in, whether we have a QR code at the store and the customer scans, and we kind of go, okay, now we know that this is customer XYZ, and they've been coming for the last 6 months to this store. So we would then retrospectively populate all the data points historically.
Thanks. Okay, one last question.
Last
But the
question.
answer better be short.
Chrystie, my question is, if you happen to get investor investing into your business, where you're gonna spend that money?
So thank you very much for the question. Our plans is to build a big development team. So that's data scientists and also developers to continue building out the product. So this, because we are a technology company at the end of the day, and this is where the focus of the funds will be. With data science, we can actually build recommendation engines similar to the way that Amazon does with their business today. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. You can keep it because there's. So our next speaker actually will be online. He's Jerome Tam from Rush Hour. So let's go for Jerome.
And director of Rush Hour Digital. Thank you so much for having me here today so we can tell you a little bit about us. Well, we are a digital agency and consultancy. We have been around since 2012, delivering projects for our clients. Our first objective with the project is really to work with our clients to understand their project's goals and objectives so that we can also use that as a benchmark to measure the impact and results that we gain for our clients through these projects. We are a collective of project managers, UX UI designers and developers who are extremely passionate about digital. We like to say that we're proud to be an independent agency because that allows us to have the right talents without the red tape on creativity. Our main office in Hong Kong, where the majority of our team resides and work from. We also have a Sydney office to service our clients in Sydney. Hopefully also grow the client base there as well. We have three main pillars of services. The first being corporate communication and brand projects. For example, we are working with Tektronix Industries right now, who owns brands like Ryobi, Milwaukee, and other power tool companies. Obviously, these type of projects now have a heavy focus on ESG, investor relations, and recruitment. The second being applications. These could be web, mobile, and we are now also doing TV apps as well. And the reason why I emphasize integration with this application build as well is because nowadays there are many services or third-party services that help organizations like yours drive their operations forward. This could be in the form of a CRM platform, ERM, ERP. We also started doing some blockchain-based project where we're integrating to the platform that we're building as well. So you have all these services that support your operations and understand your client better. We put them all into one platform so that your end users have one unified experience, be it in retail store itself or on the different digital channels they can come in through. And the third being research and feasibility studies. For example, we have the pleasure of working with Hong Kong Jockey Club now to do a feasibility study on a risk management platform that they're trying to build. Our role here is to run workshops to understand what the platform should be, understand the end users so that we can drive the project to fit the personas, and also bringing in our UX and UI experience to really drive home the user experience and also the look and feel of the whole entire platform. Our first focus as a leadership team is our people, because at the end of the day, if we hire the right talents, we look after them and they can look after our clients. We have a team from across the globe. This allows us to have different perspectives and insights into different clients that we service. we really see our clients as partners. We have over 50 plus repeat clients, over 10 years experience delivering results for them, and we've worked with over 15 industries, obviously retailers being one of them. This is one of my favorite slides. I think this really showcases the work that we put in for our clients, and that's why they keep coming back. For example, New World Development, over the last 3 years, we've delivered over 10 projects of them, similar to Brunswick Group. Over the same time period, we've also launched 10 projects with them. We're very proud to also work with some big universities like University of Science and Technology over 2 projects, as well as CUHK. We've won some awards over the years. It's great to get some recognition from our peers. And last but not least, I really want to showcase one of the projects that we're doing with a big mass retailer, Race. They started off as a nanotechnology company. Obviously, COVID have allowed them to accelerate their growth over the last 2 years. When they came to us, they understood that they need to transform their digital platform, not only on the client-facing front, but also understanding their clients better. So we've come in to help them find the right vendor for the ERP system so that they can manage all the logistics. We help them understand the client better by deploying a CRM system, and also having a robust payment gateway so that they can service different payment methodologies, as well as understanding the retail operation so that we can put all of this together and integrate all of this into an omni-channel platform where no matter the clients coming in through a retail space or a website or via the mobile, they all get the same experience. Race get to understand their clients better, as well as getting more data points as to where they should be focusing their expansion efforts, as well as pushing their digital aspects forward so that they can have a more robust engagement with their end users through the CRM system, so that they can understand better and drive the platform towards what their end users are looking for. Hopefully this gives you an idea of what we do. Thank you so much again for having us here today.
Thanks a lot, Jerome. So Jerome is over there. Also is online. Thanks a lot for this presentation of Rush Hour. And do you guys have any question in the attendance? So I'm going to start with an online question. Jerome, actually, I apologize because I told the judge at the beginning that you were late and I forgot that you were online, just in case you heard. But yeah, I have a question for you online. Do you consider yourself as a digital agency, a digital SI, or perhaps a combination of both?
Well, we really are more of an agency because we come in all the time, where we are we're coming in on a strategic level for most projects where we're helping our clients understand their projects, and really, from a most of our clients in Asia are much more waterfall model. So we are coming in from a strategic level, bring out the scope, and then we do the UX UI stage, and we do the design stage, and then we can't do development. So I think, without putting too much of a label on things, the agency kind of model, consultancy model kind of describe us the best.
Okay, thanks. Yes.
Yes. One question, Jerome, is if you were to meet some investors, what would be your priority of an investment? Where do you see growth, scale, acceleration in your business, and what are the levers that you want to privilege for that?
Yeah, so obviously, we're very heavy on the delivery front. So we actually have quite a few projects that we're hiring for in terms of UX UI designers and developers. So there's always, the kind of human capital is always our main thing that we attract, right? We've also started doing a lot more CRM projects and kind of like data projects where, for example, the risk management platform that we are doing feasibility for Hong Kong Jockey Club. One thing that we're lacking right now, and we are mostly working with third party, is data scientists, and really helping our client understand what we're collecting or what we are, gaining from those insights are would be great if we can have some sort of technology or have in-house insight to provide for the clients.
Hey, Jeremy. I think there are a lot of big players in this market who are providing similar services that you do. How do you differentiate yourself? Can you share with us 2, 3 unique points?
Yeah, great question. Hoping someone asked that one. Well, yes, there are a lot of big players. UI, Accenture, KPMG, they all touch on what we do nowadays. I think, the biggest thing that I tell clients, and we, very honestly, we pitch one project against some of these bigger guys for, as you can imagine, the Jockey Club project isn't pitched by, small, mid-sized agencies. But the reason why we win these projects is because a lot of times when even a big client, right, even a big conglomerate join or become a client of one of these big organizations, become a small fish in a very big pond. We as a small agency, and we're still at a point where we're trying to build partnership and long-term partnership for our clients. So, I jokingly always say, we give a lot more love and care in the work that we do, rather than just an engine of budgets and reporting and things like that. We focus on results, where some of our competitors, or large competitors especially, are much more focused on other areas. We set KPIs for projects from day one so that we can measure the success that we bring in a project. That might be driving sales, that might be, some of them are, they're getting so much IT support for their members or their clients, end users, that, they want to reduce the supporting cost. So, a lot of things like that. And really, I also, we started this agency, around a decade ago, where we really are digital first agency. That is very much in our DNA, where a lot of the other competitors, are kind of coming in from a different background or different focus first, and then having that, vertical as an additional point later on.
Thanks a lot, Jerome. Yeah, can we go back to the main slide, because it's going to be our last speaker. So our last speaker is going to be Jan from Fairmart. You have the mic.
Thank you. Hi, can everybody hear me okay? Perfect. Hi, everyone. My name is Jan, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Fairmart. I'm here today to talk to you about a problem that very few people know about. And that's the fact that physical stores are losing over $4.5 billion in sales every single year, simply due to the fact that their inventory is not searchable online. Now, we co-founded Fairmart to solve this problem. And it all started off with essentially with a simple question, which is, why can't we find local products online? And I have personally experienced this, and I have a dog here in Singapore. Her name is Luna, and she's got some special dietary requirements. So I'm always looking for special food for her, and if she doesn't get it, she basically gets rather grumpy. So in my neighborhood in Singapore, there's 3 pet stores within a 1 kilometer radius of where I live. So naturally what I do is that I type her food into Google, and my expectation is to see, hey, which one of these stores has the product that I'm looking for? But of course, these are the kind of results that we get. So first, I get an ad for a store that's over 8 kilometers away. So fine, doesn't solve my problem today. And second, I get a lot of e-commerce listings. And while that's also fine, it doesn't solve my problem as a shopper today, which is which store has which product in the real world. So I'm not alone. And if you look at Google Trends data, more and more shoppers are looking for local options in the real world. This is Google Trends data comparing buy online versus near me searches. You can see a clear trend that more and more shoppers are looking for real world options when they're out there looking for something to buy. And this, of course, is the problem that Fairmart solves. So this is an enormous opportunity because retail in Southeast Asia is valued at over $670 billion a year. And inventory visibility online is a problem for over 4 million small to medium retailers in the region. So how do we solve this problem? Well, in a nutshell, what Fairmart does is that we help stores list their products online so that shoppers can simply see what's in stock. But how do we do this? So first, we work with physical stores, and they tend to have over 3,000, 4,000 SKUs. They're very SKU heavy. And manually listing these products just doesn't work. So what we do is that we install a simple IoT device, which for us is a connected barcode scanner that goes in store. We plug it into the POS, and the store managers love this because it's something they already use. They don't need to change their workflow. But what it also does is that it gives us a real-time feed of the products that are being sold in that store. Now, the second stage is proprietary software, where we are taking that barcode data and translating and converting it into online product listings and showcasing them in a simple digital storefront. So then, of course, like shoppers like me can then see which product is in which store. And of course, last, we integrate with Google and Facebook and other discovery channels so that shoppers can actually see these products as well on the platforms where they search. Now, the impact of this for a typical store is that by using a simple IoT device and proprietary software, they're able to connect themselves to any digital channel that they choose in a very seamless way. And this gives physical retailers a simple, scalable way in order to drive digital commerce, whether it's going to be online transactions or in-store purchases. We support both. Now, our solution has real impact for the businesses that we work with. For a typical store with, say, 2,000 SKUs, we would save them over 200 hours of manual data entry because Fairmart just automates the product listings completely. And this also generates revenue uplift. Because we're able to list all their products online, we're able to drive increase in revenue for the stores that we work with between 8 to 12%. And this will vary by category, but generally we see the positive trends here. Now, we closed our seed fundraise from phenomenal investors such as Quest Ventures and Vertex here in Singapore at the end of last year. And since then, we've been able to grow our business to over 100 stores here in Singapore. We're growing at a rate of 15% month on month. And over the next 18 months, we're essentially going to be accelerating our growth until our Series A. Just a little bit about our team. We have a very well-experienced team with over 30 years of experience in IoT, e-commerce, and SaaS. For me personally, I was previously with DJI, where I grew their North America business to a multi-million-dollar revenue stream for the company. And my business partner and co-founder, Daniil, he's our technical lead, and he built a lot of the marketplace infrastructure that powered the original Redmart. And more recently, he was with Shopback, where he built a lot of the website infrastructure that allowed millions of shoppers to use that product. So we're very excited about the potential of digital commerce for physical retail. So we'd love to talk to you more about it, as this is something you're passionate about. Thank you for having me.
Thanks a lot, Jan. Yeah, many questions from the judge. Okay.
Hi. So you're a website for giving, well, visuality to stores that are not online. So what is really the technology behind it, right? So is it just a website, or does it have a proprietary technology that makes it special? Thank you.
Yeah, great question. So the proprietary technology for us is taking barcode data and turning it into product listings. And a key part of that is generating the data to create that association. It's kind of crazy, but there actually is no central database of barcodes and product images and product data specifications. We're building that today. And that's also a key source of defensibility for us in the long term.
Hi, I have two questions I want to get in there real quick. So my first one's around replenishment. I'm a retailer. I want to know, does the customer have the same view of replenishment that I do in the store? Is there a lag time between what, so again, from a customer perspective, I want to know where the dog food is so I can go and buy it. But is it up to the store to be replenishing or to be essentially updating that database so that the customer sees the latest, what's available and what's not? Or is it real time for both the store and the customer? My question is, I'm not too sure how you're actually making your money. What's your actual revenue stream here?
Okay, so two questions there. So first of all, about the inventory status. So massive problem, frankly, for every small to medium retailer, because their inventory management system is generally eyeballs and their memory. They understand just by visually looking at their store what's available and what's not. So because we use the barcode scanner, they generally don't have an accurate inventory database in store. It doesn't exist for the customers that we work with. But with the barcode scanner, what we see is what product is constantly being sold there. So for example, if I see a can of Coke being sold 5 times a day, suddenly that drops off. I have a pretty strong signal that whether or not that is actually in stock. So we use that as one signal, and then we couple that with essentially our store manager app. So when we see signals like this, we'll send a notification to the store manager. It's like, hey, is this thing in stock or not? Or is it going to be replenished tomorrow? And we try to build our product around like the way our customers work and their behaviors. And combining some data along with some nudges to the customer gives us a pretty good picture of what's available. Second, how do we monetize? So today we monetize as a SaaS business. We charge our customers $50 per month as a baseline fee, and that lists their products on Google. Now, once our stores list their products online, the next thing is like, hey, how do I drive more sales, right? How can I get either more people in store or drive more online transactions? So one thing we're doing now is monetizing through ads. A lot of small to medium retailers are very happy to invest $300, $400 a month in ad spend, provided they see relatively good ROI. And they don't need like a 10x return on ad spend, but like 2 to 3x is usually pretty good enough. And we can make it very clear for them. They simply just put in their monthly budget and we execute that for them. So those are our primary monetization channels today.
I've got a question about your platform. So once all the SKUs are being scanned, right, using the barcodes, so where does the information reside? Is it like on a website, on an application? And where do people actually find all this information? And how do they know whether the stocks are available at the stores at any one point in time?
Sure, great question. So the way that a shopper would encounter a Fairmart page is generally through Google. So when you are searching, say, for, like for example, we have a bike store in Katong. So if you want, I can show you this later. And if you take one of their products and you search for it in the neighborhood of Katong, because of our backend integrations with Google, we actually generally can get them into top 3 organic results, which is super powerful for them, right? And if you have a standalone website, it's very difficult for stores to be able to generate that kind of performance. Now, as a shopper, the way you typically encounter a Fairmart page is that you'll end up on a specific unique product that you're searching for, and then we drive you to see the rest of the products that are in that store.
No other yeah, another question.
All right, Jan, my question is, how is the product evolving? What is next?
Great question. So as we're building a essentially clear picture of what's happening at the retailer level in terms of the inventory, one incredibly huge problem we see is similar to what you're alluding to, restocking. Because a lot of the merchants that we work with, they are getting probably 5 to 8 deliveries a week because simply just of the products they sell, it's just such high turnover. The workflow there today is magical. It's literally WhatsApp, where people will be walking around and taking photos of products and sending them to their distributor. So we see enormous opportunity to digitize that because we have clear signals of, hey, what's available, what's not. We can quickly prompt the store manager, hey, like, do you want to order this? And then, of course, there's massive benefits for the distributors that we can work with as well. We're not doing that today yet. Right now, we're very much focused for the next 6 to 12 months on our current product offering and scaling that out. But we're very interested in moving upstream, especially with how we can work with distributors.
Thanks a lot. Okay,
just one more, and just adding on to that. So what is it today, Singapore, tomorrow, the world? What's your plan?
Actually, that's good because we have a lot of questions on that online.
Yeah, to take this a bit further, geographically speaking.
Yeah, great question. So we started the company remotely in the middle of COVID. I used to be based in Hong Kong, and my co-founder, he was in New Zealand. So we actually have legacy customers in those markets when we first started. But then we both moved here at probably September 2020, and then essentially just focused here for now. As a seed stage startup, focus is important, and being close to our customers helps a lot. So for the next 12 months, we're more or less going to stay here. But we see a lot of opportunity in Malaysia, especially with, we've seen a lot of success with mini marts, convenience stores, and there's a lot of opportunity there. And also moving up market to some of the larger chains as well, both in Singapore and in places like Malaysia in the region.
Thanks a lot, Jan, and I hope it will help Luna to find our food more quickly.
Absolutely. We can get a French food store on as well.
Okay.
Thanks.
I'm going to give 10 minutes to the judge to brainstorm. So we're going to have a small break, and then we're going to come back with the winner. We have a quick talk from one of the sponsors as well, and then we can all have a drink behind after that. Okay. Okay, let's see what we have here. So the runner-up is Splashup. Congratulations, Nathalie. And the winner is here. We've decided that the winner is Fairmart. Congratulations, Jan. Last but not least, thanks a lot, everyone. We just have one last word from one of our main sponsors, My Business Asia, from Tommaso, that's going to introduce just for 2 minutes what's exactly My Business Asia. Can I get back the control of the... Can I get the control of the clicker yet? There you go.
Thank you so much, Pierre. I'm going to be super quick because it's already past 8 p.m. So My Business in Asia is actually a one-stop corporate solution for businesses in Singapore. So we specialize on company and corporation accounting and tax, and we specifically focus on startups, entrepreneurs, and SMEs. Our unique proposition actually is the one to combine fully digitalized services. So we have our in-house technology and a unique ecosystem of tools, digitalized tools, to serve our customers. So we are able to keep an attractive cost, and we leverage on the expertise of RBA Group. We are a brand 100% owned by RBA because we identified there is this gap sometime in the markets where businesses, our competitors, are either fully traditional, quite expensive, or they're fully digitalized. But when they're digitalized, they rarely are able to maintain quality in their services. So that's where we come in. We are able to combine the two. And in terms of coverage, of course, we are based in Singapore, Hong Kong, and then we have offices in Bangkok and Ho Chi Minh, thanks to the RBA presence. Oh, this is already the... Okay, I'm just going to add one more slide because I think this is the old presentation. So I just wanted to share a couple of solutions that we have in terms of offering solutions to entrepreneurs and SMEs. One is a payment solution. We realized, for example, in the market, when there is a startup in Singapore and Hong Kong, it's very difficult to open the bank account at the very beginning. It takes few times. The due diligence is complicated. So the solution we came up with is actually partnering up with AirWallex, who you might know. And we offer a business account, so entrepreneurs right after the incorporation are able to send and receive money, have a credit card, and dealing with cross-border transactions. So these, together with our own platform, which is a platform that helps administration of the business in Singapore and Hong Kong. Let's say you want to welcome a new director or you have a new investor. Well, all the filing with the agency in Singapore and Hong Kong can be done remotely through our platform, thanks to our messaging platform, allows you to sign documents, chat with us, and also all the documents are available anytime from anywhere because it's 100% digitalized. So thank you so much. I hope I was quick enough. Thank you. Yeah.
So thank you very much. I think it's time to go for a drink. But before we finish, the next Startup and Angel event is probably going to be at the end of August in Ho Chi Minh City. If not, you can find all the events here by joining the community and scanning the QR code. There is some QR code also around the place, and you will see the next event and also the next services offered by Startup and Angel. Thanks a lot, and thanks to all of you who were online. Have a good evening.
Thank you, everyone.